Welcome to the Midnight Entrepreneur. I'm your host, Easton Bennett, alongside my fellow co-host, Tyler Sinnen. We are both entrepreneurs who are learning, growing, and building our own businesses. Our goal is to share our experience and knowledge to help you grow and become a successful entrepreneur. Strap in. Before we get started, if you have any questions or things you'd like us to cover, you can email us at themidnightentrepreneur@gmail.com. And if you'd like to join our business Discord where we talk about wins, business problems, or general questions, shoot us a message and we will get you in there. Tyler, what's going on, man? Another week.
Not too much, man. It's weekend here. We got a YouTube video filmed right before this. I just got to maybe do some B-roll. I already quickly edited it. It shouldn't be too bad, to be honest. So pretty much got that done all in one day. Things are going good, man. What about you?
Things are busy over here. We are filming on a weekend. Again, when was it? When did we miss an episode? 2 weeks ago. So we're keeping that grind going. Fitting this episode in. I'm in a different set because I broke the table that I usually film at. The leg fell off of it. So I got to put that together.
I don't know how you do that?
Well, it's like a piece of wood that I just bought at Menards, and I screwed like metal poles into the bottom of it. And the screws don't go terribly deep into the desktop. So it just snapped right out.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So got to get that fixed before next episode. But hey, this room will get us to the promised land to get this episode out.
That's the OG podcast room for you. So I think it'll treat you well.
Yeah, it's going to be a good episode. I can already feel it in the air. iPad's at 14%, hasn't died one click. So it's going to be great.
Love it. How you been doing? What you been getting on?
Good. I've been good. Things have been busy. I've been away from Minot for, I think, since last Wednesday. So about a week and a half. And then I'll be little hour stop in here to Minot to film and then heading right back to Bismarck. But things have been good. Just finished up a 4-day shoot in Southwest North Dakota, getting that done. Really starting to like the camera more and more, the new C70, getting used to it. Bought a new case for it. I don't think I've mentioned that on the podcast. Bought a new hard shell case so I can sit in there. But yeah, the shoot went well. The one kind of glamorous part about the shoot was we hiked White Butte, the tallest point in North Dakota. Hiked White Butte. It's called
hiked.
Yeah. So we hiked up it just to get some shots at the very top during sunset.
Is that the only hike you can do in North Dakota?
Pretty much, yeah. I think it's the elevation's like 3,400 feet or something like that. 3,400.
Bring some oxygen mask.
Yeah. So we did that. Took about 30 minutes to get to the top, and it was windy as fuck. We literally could not even stand up there without like almost falling over. It was the windiest thing ever. But shots look good. Sun was setting, looked awesome. But other than that, yeah, just been grinding on some shoots. What about you, Tyler?
Yeah, I think I saw one of your, maybe you posted it as a story on Instagram of the shot. It looked pretty cool where it was like the sunset and like the people walking or something like that. It looked pretty nice.
Yep, that was the one.
Right on. Yeah. I find so the last week we did our episode on receiving payments from clients, and I have finally received my first payment from my client. So that's awesome. And now I got to send her another paid, or what is it? Another
invoice.
Yep. That'll be coming up to her in like another week or so. So maybe I'll just give her like a 30-day buffer maybe for it. I don't know. I've been working a little bit on her website to try and improve the Google Ads. I just changed the conversion tagging, created a thank you page just so that's the conversion action as opposed to getting phone calls. And she never had the website form as a conversion action. So I'm going to be working on a landing page for her, and I'm just going to be doing that for free just because I want her to perform well. And where it's currently directing the traffic, I just don't see it performing well. So I'm just going to be doing that for free, just trying to knock it out and being like, hey, here's this. I'm probably going to have to set up another meeting with her and just be like, hey, this is stuff that I've been working on. This is how's the ads performing? Have you noticed any differences, any changes? We should probably get together because we did talk about having quarterly calls. So probably have that. She never emailed back about the marketing services. But yeah, YouTube grinding. Like I said, got a YouTube video filmed today. I've been pretty consistent the past few weeks. I think this will be my third one this month. Maybe not this month, but like in the last 30 days, which is good. And approaching 1,000 subs.
There you go.
We're getting there. And then the last thing that I had a call with a buddy I met through YouTube, and I don't know if it's a shiny object syndrome, but it seems like a potential opportunity for me where he's launching this product, service, I don't know what it would be, and it seems like there is some demand for it, and I would be like COO or something where I'm just in charge of the operations and making sure everything's good. All the clients in there are well maintained, and maybe do some of the marketing for it as well. So I told him I would get back to him, and I just don't know if that's like another shiny object syndrome because of all the stuff that I got going on. So we'll see what happens there, but that's pretty much what's going on.
All right, couple things. First off, what is the product or service he's talking about? Or is that under wraps under an NDA?
No, he's got a Instagram out there. He already has a pre-launch. So he said I think he had about 10 people sign up for it. So basically what it is, he's going to have a set number of clients, businesses that will pay him to be a part of his affiliate program. And what his business is collecting affiliates. So he's just going to have the goal is to have a massive amount of affiliates paying him to be a part of this affiliate program. And then the businesses will also pay him, and they get access to his thousands of affiliates, and then they'll be able to share these businesses' products. So he was saying he's going to have 5 different businesses, and then the model, they pay depending on how many affiliates are in there, and then each affiliate will market basically those businesses.
So you have to pay to market the business. So I would pay this guy to be a part of the affiliate list.
Yes.
Why would I do that?
To make money. So it's not a lot of money. I think he was saying, I can't remember the prices. Like, I think the lowest tier is like $1 per month. The next tier up is like $5 per month, and then the next tier up is I think $100, or maybe 10 and 100, something like that. So it's you're not paying much for the monthly fee, and then you get access to these businesses to promote them.
What do you mean by access? Like they get free products from the businesses, or
you are a part of their affiliate program to be able to be like an ambassador for that company.
Oh, seems like he's almost inserting himself into the middleman position.
Yeah, he kind of is. So it's like, so if you have a big business, instead of trying to go out and find affiliates, you just go to him. He has access to, say, 1,000, maybe the goal eventually is like 10,000 affiliates. That business comes to you and says, hey, I want to be able to have access to your affiliates. If you have that army, so his name is called Affiliate Army. And basically, if you have access to all these people, then these businesses are just going to love it. So
yeah.
I
wonder if that's actually an issue. Like if businesses, because a business like Amazon or B&H or Adorama, right? I'm sure they have no issues with getting affiliates. So maybe it's for the companies that are struggling to find affiliates.
Yeah, I would assume so. I don't know if it would be struggling to get it. It just might be you're smaller, and instead of having to go out and find all these affiliates, because it's like imagine having to pay $3,000 per month to access of 3,000 people that will market your product. So the amount of, and especially if you look at LTV, lifetime value of a customer. So say you get access to 3,000 people, and then they're able to bring in, say, 100 people, or maybe like an average of 10 people per month. And like the LTV, depending on your product, maybe your LTV is a lot more than $3,000. It's a lot. It's pretty easy. It's just extremely simple for you to be able to just go to this person. This person has access to thousands of people. And it just makes it extremely easy for that business person, because he was saying he's talked to a bunch of different CEOs, and they basically said, if you had a group of people that are willing to promote my product, I would pay you thousands of dollars, like thousands.
Yeah. Which is good. It's just, I'd be curious to see the brand, because I don't know why, and maybe it's more so curating, like here's a group of them. But majority of business I see is cutting out the middleman, right? Like the business could just go right to the affiliate and be like, hey, I'll just pay you this amount to promote my product. But I could see where it would be a gap in the market where it's like, okay, then you have to reach out to a bunch of people, where this guy could come in and say, here is a bunch of people.
For sure. So obviously these bigger companies, they aren't going to need access to that. And they already have that brand name value. So take Canon, for example. You're not going to be able to become an affiliate for them unless they have like little referral codes or whatever it is.
Yeah. You're
not going to be able to get to that point. But 2, they already have that brand name value. And 3, for them, they already know exactly who to go to. So they can go on YouTube. They can find Peter McKinnon. They know he uses a Canon. So it's like, okay, here, you're becoming an affiliate. So it's a lot easier for someone, say like Canon, but like say some up and coming, I don't know what it would be, maybe a supplement company. Maybe they're just starting out. Maybe not just starting out. They're like halfway down the road. They don't have the brand name value yet. They have a small audience so far, but they're trying to break out and get past that barrier. So I think you're obviously not going to see these Canons, Sonys, Amazons, Walmarts type of companies that are going to be the businesses that you'll be marketing for.
Yeah, I like it for the smaller businesses that are going up. But yeah, I mean, not saying it's shiny object syndrome, but it's definitely another thing you're added to your plate. So
definitely.
Other than that, I've posted a couple job posts on a couple Facebook groups as far as finding an editor, not having amazing luck. I mean, I've obviously got some people back that said, hey, I can for sure do that for you. And I've like posted example videos like, hey, this is what I'm looking for. And the majority of them just aren't great. So it's not even something where I'd be like, oh, well, let's see what it would cost me. Cause it's like, okay, I don't really know where I'd use you. So that kind of is sucking lately. And then the other conversation I had was with a setter. So there is a guy on Instagram that I follow that he does short form content the way that I'm providing to my clients that I want to amp up a little bit. And I like how he's editing. And he said that there's 2 options. We could take over the editing, that he could take over the editing for us, or he could place an editor in the business almost as a setter, and for a one-time fee, but the one-time fee was like $3,000. So I was like, is it worth it to pay $3,000 for him to find me an editor? So that, and then maybe, for now, I'm just going to have to start charging way more for editing on these one-off jobs and just bring in editors for one-off jobs. So that's kind of where I'm at. This whole editing thing is finding an editor is way harder than I thought it was going to be, but I just need, I don't need a freaking Hollywood editor. I just need someone that's competent and that kind of understands.
Where are you posting these jobs at?
One in the VBA, and then one in full-time filmmaker. So full-time filmmaker is like 15, 20,000 people. And I'm like,
really none of them.
I got like 3 responses on the post. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah. I don't know if it's
VBA.
VBA. I got 2.
You would think those people would be good.
Yeah. You would think so. That's what I was thinking when I posted it. And then I was going to do it on Twitter, but it's hard to post on Twitter because there's one guy that follows me on Twitter there's a couple guys on Twitter that follow me that are like, oh, I'd love to do some more work for you. So I don't want to post and be like, hey, looking for an editor after I just blew them off. But yeah, I mean, not that they're bad editors. It's just, one of them is just not quite to where I need it to be. And then the other one's just a little bit spendier than I'd like to pay. So yeah, it's between a crossroads here. I need to find some Indians overseas or something.
Do you think my quality would cut it?
Yeah. Do you want to edit? You want to edit some videos?
We'll see. I know we mentioned this last time, but maybe we can actually talk about it and see what it would look like.
Yeah. There's another shiny object syndrome for you. Hey, but that would go under new frame, right? That would count.
Yeah, it would.
That would go. Yeah. See, I would feel better about that because I feel like I'm adding to the pie,
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
And that's just one step closer to 2024.
Exactly. So yeah, maybe we'll have a conversation about that. But that's kind of the things that have been going on. Just been working on shoots a lot and then trying to find an editor. Those are kind of the 2 main things.
Yeah. So you're driving back to Bismarck? You just came back to film this?
I came back because I forgot my swim trunks. I fly out on Monday to Vegas. So
when are you getting back?
Wednesday. So I fly Monday morning, come back Wednesday morning. So it's a super quick trip. So we'll just film whenever, Thursday or Friday or Saturday, Sunday.
All right, just checking.
Yeah.
Standards, got to hold them.
Yep, we'll get that episode. And no worries. But yeah, I had to
I can't wait for that episode.
It's gonna be sick, right? I'll film it in Vegas.
That'd be something.
Just at the pool. Hopefully it's pool weather.
Yeah, not pool weather here. Is it pool weather there?
No, it's like 50.
No.
It's cold as shit.
Same here.
All right, let's get into this week's news story. We're not going to dive really into the political side of it. We're going to be talking about what's going on in Israel, but we more so want to talk about how that affects the economy and our thoughts on businesses. So don't skip past this and think these guys are douches because they're just hopping on the political train. It's not a political podcast, guys. But Tyler, have you been following along a little bit of what's going on over there?
Not really. The only current event type of stuff that I can follow along with is whenever Andy Frisella talks about it on his podcast. So that's about all the information that I really get. So he has talked about it on a few episodes. So that's about as far of the extent that it goes for me. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I've been following it a little bit, just so I am educated on it, and just to give you guys an idea. Basically, Hamas, this terrorist group in Israel, they're fighting over a holy land and they're shooting missiles at each other. So that's basically the depths of it we'll go into. But we wanted to talk about, how will this affect economic growth? Because there's been people talking about, is this going to come over to the U.S.? Where's it going to go? There was the former Hamas leader announced a National Jihad Day yesterday, which I think the only thing I saw was a couple stabbings in France. So, I mean, not as crazy. It wasn't another 9/11 or anything, but how is this going to affect, the economy, one, in the U.S., and then two, maybe worldwide?
So what I've been hearing is, how the border's been open?
Yep.
So what I've been hearing is that a lot of people, a lot of countries are sending in military-aged men, and basically a lot of these people are potentially coming from Hamas or Israel, wherever, these nations, and then all of a sudden you got all these people that are now infiltrated in America. They don't have really citizenship or anything. They don't really belong there. A lot of them are criminals. A lot of them do whatever. But now all of a sudden you kind of have a whole bunch of, I don't know what they would be called, but you've been infiltrated. So now a lot of them are potentially in America, and they could just like flip of a switch say, hey, let's start this. And then all of a sudden, maybe they just start shooting shit up or blowing shit up. But I think it affects the economy pretty significantly. Like maybe just because like obviously the war is looming, and then there was Ukraine, and now there's this, and a lot of money being funneled and stuff like that. But a lot of war. So maybe you're going to see a lot of those companies with that supply those types of like guns and missiles and stuff like that.
The defense contractor is going to be going crazy,
right? So it's like, okay, those businesses are going to do well. Those businesses are going to thrive. And then I've heard stuff about the oil and all that stuff. So I don't know. What do you think going on?
Yeah, as far as the oil goes, I know Qatar, I don't know if it's their president or whatever, Qatar's leader pretty much came out and said, stop shooting missiles at Gaza or we're going to stop supplying gas to the world. So that's something that could definitely affect the economy, not only in America, but everywhere else in the world. If they're threatening to create on purpose a gas shortage, that's huge. I mean, gas is already expensive. I can't even imagine how much more expensive it would get if they just stopped supplying gas. And I'm not super involved or really know like how much gas do we get from over there, how much, I assume a lot. But yeah, I mean, that could have a huge impact on America if Qatar just like, yeah, we're not giving you gas anymore. And then gas is $8 a gallon.
Yeah. Supply and demand. And if they just want to cut it off, there's just so much stuff going on, and everyone's like picking a side, and it's just like, why can't we just have no war?
Yeah.
I think that would be the smartest choice, the smartest option. But it just seems a lot of stuff that I've been hearing from Andy Frisella, and just it's been blowing my mind a little bit, where he just talks about these elite people, and they're playing chess, and their pieces are us. the
Yeah.
civilians, and they're just playing chess with us, and that's basically all it is. And it's like so mind blowing to think about. It's like these guys get so bored, they have everything in the world, that they just start playing chess with in real life.
Yeah, with real people, real people's lives, which is scary.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's anything that we have to prepare for as far as running our businesses on a day-to-day basis, or do you think, it's kind of greater than that?
I think it's always good to save some money, make sure that you got some money saved up. I think, I don't know.
Stack that bread.
Yeah, I was thinking like it might be good to keep an eye on, just because of any political issues or like what's going on, targeting. Maybe you could use it as marketing. I know it's obviously a sensitive topic, but maybe making a joke out of it, probably not the smartest thing to do. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything like surface level that we'd have to prepare for, but I remember, over the last couple of years, people have been saying, oh, there's a recession coming, or, oh, we're in a recession, where I would think, I'm like, okay, maybe I, need to prepare for getting less work because people are a little bit more tight with their money or whatever it is. And I never found that to be the case. I always found it that, things actually grew more than they were affecting how my business was operating. And maybe that's because North Dakota doesn't always get the highest of highs and we don't always get the lowest of lows. It kind of just stays there in the middle. Where things don't hit us as hard, but when things are great, we're not making millions and billions of dollars. So I don't know if it's similar to that, where there's something we should be prepared for, like the recession, but I'm a firm believer that North Dakota, especially where I'm at, it's not going to be hit as hard as other places, say, New York or LA or Chicago or something like that.
I think a few things. It could be something along the lines of them giving everyone money, so then they have more spending power. But at the same time, consumer debt just keeps increasing. Everyone keeps putting money on credit cards. I think it's well over like $1 trillion. Everyone has student loans, credit card debt, mortgages. Everyone has all this debt. And I mean, is there going to be a bubble at some point where it just pops and everything goes to shit and it's worse than '08? And I don't know.
We'll see. That's when we capitalize.
Could be a possibility. Yeah. How do we capitalize on that? Because everyone's going to be out of jobs, everyone's going to be paying off debt, and then all these big corporations, they're just going to blame it on the middle class people, and then I don't know. Same thing that happened to Big Short.
Big Short, great movie. If you guys haven't seen it, go watch it. But yeah, that's all we're going to touch on for Israel, Hamas. Not great stuff happening over there, but they haven't got to our homeland yet, as we're aware of. But it was pretty crazy. I think the U.S. deployed Delta Force and SEAL Team 6. Like just to be on standby if anything happens. So it's kind of crazy to think about that we're at that level. But I think honestly, we've been at that level for probably quite some time. So let's get into this week's episode. We're going to be talking about some standards, whether it's business standards or personal standards in your own life. Really, what we're going to be talking about is what you hold yourself accountable to. If you say you're going to do something, are you actually going to do it? And what are the standards that you give to yourself? Are we going to be talking, Tyler, more so about our own standards of our own things, or, standards we have of other people? I was assuming it'd be more so like us.
Yeah, I think it's more so talking about what we do personally, what we hold ourselves to, because it, like we have talked about in the past, where we would talk about stuff that we've never actually experienced or thought of or done or whatever it might be, where I think the better aspect of it is actually talking about stuff that we've done personally and we can actually have that relationship with.
Yeah. And I'd rather, talk about our own experiences rather than others. And I think that was one of the big things in the beginning of the podcast. We wanted to stop talking about, we want to stop talking about things that we were hearing from other people, talk about things that we've actually been through and worked through. So Tyler, what are your thoughts on standards?
They're everything. It's what you want in life. Whatever your standards are is what you're going to amass to and what you're going to do. And I know listening and just kind of surrounding myself around, say, Andy Frisell and that group, it's raised my standards quite significantly. And I noticed I've been doing a lot of the stuff that Andy talks about recently, where say I'm at the gym and I'll see some napkins on the floor, or maybe not napkins, but like paper towels, and I'd pick them up just because it's like standards. It's like, are you gonna? And then like after my swim, and there's say pool noodles, and maybe some of those boards, I'll put those away because someone else left them out, and it's just like having those standards that you hold yourself accountable to, because that's what you're gonna do in life. And yeah, I know in the past I'd never really had standards, and obviously that didn't really get me very far. And now I've started to build these standards where there's a lot of stuff that I hold myself to, that I try to maintain such a high standard that sometimes it sucks and it feels like I'm not doing much. And I don't, this is a thing that I don't like to do, is compare myself to other people, because like once you start doing that high standard for a while, and you become complacent, I would say, maybe, where that becomes your normal, and then you got to start raising your standards again, and then you got to keep raising them. So it's a weird cycle.
Yeah, and I think you've been a little bit better about standards than I have, and that sounds, the way I word that sounds like I'm like, shitty human. Oh, you have no standards. But it's not like that. It's just, if you say you're going to do something, one thing I always think about is, if I write something down on my calendar, I have to do it. Like, I'm going to stick to that, and that's what I'm going to do. Where I've been known, and we've talked about this on the podcast, example A would be when we were doing our social posts for 30 straight days. Once I didn't do it, you have on here, once you don't do something, your standard becomes not doing it. And I missed a day. And then after that, it was just okay to miss a day. So that's one thing I've been working on more, is trying to adhere to those standards a little bit more, which I think you're a little bit better at. Tyler, do you have any advice for sticking to your standards? Are there any mental techniques you have that's like, if you don't want to do something, you just got to do it?
I think that's as simple as it gets. It's like, I think starting out small, if you are going to say you're going to do something, because I know I say it, but I'm more of an all or nothing type of person, where it's, I struggle with on the other spectrum, where if I'm not all or nothing, it gets a little bit tough, because I'll take diet for example, because that's a really easy example, where if I'm doing a diet and I don't want to have any sugars, and I say I'm not going to have any sugars at all, it's a lot easier to do that than say I'll have ice cream every now and then if I feel like it, or if I'll have donuts every now and then it just starts to pile on, and it's like, okay, I'm allowing myself to have donuts, okay, I'm allowing myself to have ice cream, just because it's not all or nothing. So I have more than I actually end up wanting. So I always say start small. So if you can only do one video per week, do one video per week, and then build that into a habit. And once that becomes your standard, and if you can improve it or up it, then go from there. So I think just whatever you say, I'm pretty sure we've done an episode on this, but just staying true to yourself and having that confidence is going to build over time. So it's just saying whatever you're going to do it.
Yeah. And I think it comes down to your mindset. And I know we've had an episode on mindset before, but there's the times when you're sitting there and you're like, I don't want to do it, that you literally just have to get up and you have to do it, and you have to start doing it. It's going to suck. But eventually I always get to that point. Like, if there's a video I don't want to edit, I always get to that point where I don't want to do it. I start doing it. And then like 13 minutes in, I'm like, okay, this is not so bad. So I think it's that first initial hurdle that you have to get over.
Yeah. I feel like you're a little bit better than me at this, where you're willing to stay up later than me, because I think my standard for sleep takes precedence over other shit, like say getting a project done or getting something done for a client. I think sleep takes the precedent over that, where it's like, okay, I got to go to bed at 8 and then I'm waking up, and then I can find time throughout the day. So then I might just push it. Whereas for you, you're more willing to get that project done.
Yeah. And it's less and less so now, whereas I used to stay up if I was really in a grind. I was like, oh, I'll stay up till 2 and do this. But unless there's like a major deadline that I have to hit, and I know I need to stay up to finish it, or I'm literally going to miss the deadline, I have been prioritizing sleep more so I can get a full 8 hours and not wake up at 9 o'clock in the morning. So I'm moving away from that a little bit. There are times, I think last week. We were talking about it. I stayed up till like 4:30 in the morning editing a documentary. And that's literally because I had to. Like, it had to be in his inbox, in his email at 8 a.m. So I really didn't have an option, right? So I wasn't going to wake up and then email him and make an excuse where it's like, okay, I just have to get this done. So unless it's really dire needs, like it has to get done, I won't do it. But there are times when it does come down to that.
Yeah, when you say that scenario, my mind goes, if it were me, I would go to sleep and then I would wake up early and then I would try and get it done then. But then at the same time, then it cuts it close with the deadline, because if I'm going to sleep and then I'm waking up and then I only have, because you're going to be getting it done well before and then you're going to go to sleep. So then there might be a little bit of an issue there. But I just know in the past for me, I typically will go to sleep and then I'll wake up and then I'll do it, because I find when at night, I'm probably going to be more tired, and especially if I'm going through the night. So it's like, let's get some sleep in, and then I'll wake up, be a little bit more refreshed, and then hopefully be able to be a little bit more productive at the same time.
Yeah, the only issue I see with that is I get a little bit worried. Do I have enough time? Like,
Right.
if I'm like, oh, I wake up at 6, I got 2 hours. Well, what if you needed 3 hours, right?
Right.
So that's where it's like, maybe I need 7 hours and I got to work till 6:30 in the morning. Yeah, it sucks, but I'm not missing the deadline. So really the speed comes into play. However fast you can get it done, that's how much sleep you get. So it does suck. I don't do that often. I've maybe done it twice this year. So it's nothing crazy, but there are times when it gets to be like that.
Do you have any standards that you would say that you are pretty religious with, that you stick by every day or every week or every month, every year?
Invoicing, I'm pretty good about that. Pretty good at getting those out when they need to be out. I'm trying to think. I mean, showering and brushing my teeth and eating 3 meals.
Those are big ones.
Yeah,
big ones.
That's pretty standard. What are some things, I don't think there's anything like
physical health.
No, because I go back and forth. Like, there's times when I'll go, this summer, I would go on walks all the time, right? Like, I'd go on a walk a day, hour walk, whatever it is. And then the winter, I'll probably do less of that. But the winter, I'm doing men's league hockey 2 nights a week. So it's different. So it's not like I need to have 45 minutes of exercise a day, right? So I don't know if there's really anything. Sleep has been more so something I've been working on, getting more sleep, because before, like we said, I would just do whatever. I'd go to bed at 2 and wake up at 8:37. But now, and I give credit to my girlfriend for this. I was in Bismarck last night. We went to bed at like literally 8:37, I think. And I was like, this feels criminal. But you wake up and you get work done. So been focusing more so on that and not staying up past midnight, which has been good. But other than that, I mean, there's nothing that I'm really clinging to. What about you?
Even with your business, you don't have any set. I feel like you probably have standards that you just don't realize, like the quality of work that you do whenever you're like your standards with maybe sending out your piece of paper beforehand. I forget what that's called, but just how you run your business. You have standards there, like the quality of work that you're going to send, the quality of work that you're going to be doing on set, the quality. I think all that you don't realize you do is standards that you have. Yeah.
Now that you bring that up, I mean, standard that for every job, I'll always have a contract signed, or I'll always have 50% down. Like, that's a standard that it's just going to happen whether you like it or not. And if it doesn't, then I guess we're not working together. But like you said, the quality of work, like, it has to adhere to a certain standard. I'm not going to send something out that's not color graded or the audio is not adjusted. So there are standards as far as that goes. So now that you mentioned that, I did realize that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think it's just everything that piles up together, and that's how you create such a great experience, say, with your business. You have all these standards that you adhere to, the customer relationship, just how you treat them, and just the standards, like you're emailing them, how timely you are with them. Like, if you have a standard that you're going to get back to them within a day, or if you have a standard that you're going to get back to them within a week, or whatever it might be, I think those are just all things that those little things pile up and make for huge standards.
Yeah. And there are a lot of little things that I didn't realize, but that's good that you pointed that out. What standards do you have, Tyler? I know you got a couple on your list here.
Yeah, I just know that I think there's a lot of small standards that are there. And you saying like you don't really have much other than showering. I think you have a few more than that. So I just had to try and point that out. I know you. I don't know how long this is going to last, but you currently have a standard of posting on Twitter.
Oh God, am I still doing that?
I've been seeing some.
Dude, I scheduled those months ago. That's got to be coming to an end now. Every Wednesday night and Saturday night, now that you mentioned that, I scheduled
You replied to me on the one.
Yeah, I see the replies, but I don't see like those are scheduled. I scheduled those months ago.
Oh,
so then like when people reply, I'm like, oh shit, what'd I tweet today? And then I go look. But yeah, dude, every Wednesday night and Saturday night, tweet goes out. I think I scheduled like 86 of them like 4 months ago or something like that.
Jeez.
Yeah, I should do that again, dude. That was a good thing. That was something good I did.
There you go. There was one that you said it was like, is there anything better than saying quotes with your friends? And
that one was off
the football.
That one was off the cuff for sure. That one I was just thinking when I was driving.
Yeah. So some standards for me, I guess, working out. It's funny. I saw this, so I'm not going to try and get on the other side of it where it's talking about other people in comparison, but I saw something where it said, I have to force myself to take a rest day. You have to force yourself to get to the gym. We're not the same. And when I saw that, I was like, holy shit, that's right. Like for me and a rest day, they just don't go, they just don't go together. Like I can't remember the last time I haven't worked out twice a day. Like that became my new standard from listening to Andy Frisella, just because of his 75 hard program. And especially with Ironman training, like, sure, I could do 2 hours on the bike, but it's like, now I feel like weak if I don't go to the gym and get my 45-minute workout in. So that's become one of my standards where I work out a minimum of twice a day, whether like tomorrow, I'm probably just going to do a swim and I'm going to do a bike ride. And then once I start running again, so it just became like one of my standards that I do and live to. And then another one is my day ones. That's actually been going on since end of April. So that's been quite a few months. So that's another standard. So I try and document everything. That's one thing that Alex Hormozy was talking about. He's like, just take as many pictures and videos as possible. I can guarantee you're probably not taking enough. And at the same time, I think it's kind of like memories for me.
Yeah.
Where I can say, go back and look at when I was back in Minot, my time there, and like what was going on, what was I doing, like checking out my yoga room and all that fun stuff. And so I think it acts as that as well. So doing the day ones, and now I'm doing the actual videos where I'm posting there. And I think I talked about this before, where it's like I ran out of ideas and I just don't know what to post, but I don't want to make that acceptable where if I don't post today, then it becomes acceptable to not post, because in the future, then I might be like, okay, I don't have an idea. I cannot post today. So that's become a standard where I have to post it every single day. And then the other thing that I had as a standard that I don't anymore, because other stuff came in kind of overthrew it, was with New Frame, where I was doing daily podcasts. I started that and I was asking you, and I said, what should my cadence be? And then you're like, just start out at once per week. And that's what I was doing. And I got a few episodes in, and then I signed up for an Ironman, and other stuff started to take the front seat. And then my standard got lost there because other standards came in place. So that was a standard that I had that I ended up losing on. So yeah. And like, there's a lot of other little stuff like I mentioned to you that you probably do. And there's probably just a lot of other little stuff that I do as well.
I like how you said the rest day quote. I think that can be used in a lot of life, where you said, I have to force myself to take a day off. You have to force yourself to go. How do you think you can get to the point where it's almost flipped? Like, let's say business, I have to force myself to stop working instead of force myself to work. How do you think you get to that point?
Enjoy the process, enjoy what you do. I think at the same time, I don't know. I learned to like work and being social. And I think I got a comment on one of my videos, on my day one videos on YouTube, where I think it was Dana White, where he was talking about 3-day weekends and how he hates weekends. He's like, I look forward to Mondays. Like, I want that to come. That's how much I love what I do. And someone commented on it saying something about being a student. And then it made me think back to when I was at college, and I actually enjoyed all that stuff. And it was like, that was my social time where I went out and got to hang out with people, talk to people. When I enjoyed going to work, like I actually enjoyed that stuff. So it's just trying to find the enjoyment in that stuff where you actually go out and enjoy it. So, and I know a lot of people, I think what it is a lot of people, their highlight of the week is the weekend. They get to hang out with their friends, they get to drink, they get to go out to the bars, go out and eat, whatever it might be. So that's what they're always looking forward to. They're like, I want to look forward to that. So it's just maybe flipping the script to looking forward to something else, like looking forward to actually enjoying work.
Yeah. And you got to find something that you enjoy. I mean, that's one thing I always had this thought, like, I liked how you said people just live for the weekends, right? I know so many people that are guilty of like, oh my gosh, it's almost Friday. And it's like, we were filming today. I was like, I didn't even know what day it was, right? Saturday. I'm like, okay, whatever. I was working this morning, then drove back to Minot. And I more so have flipped the script to, I enjoy the weekends because I feel like I can get so much right. done without other people bothering me, right? And it's like it's like free work, you know what I mean? Where no one else would, not no one else, but the people that don't have that mindset, they're like, awesome, I can take this time off. Whereas I'm like, sick, I can edit so much stuff. No one's going to be emailing me. I'm not going to get any calls. No one's going to be like, where's my video? Because I have a full 2 days plus a little bit after Friday at 5 o'clock to get stuff done with no one bothering me.
Yeah, same here. I really like the weekends because there's just so much free time and I get to do exactly like whatever I want. And I don't really have a schedule that I got to stick to. But yeah, I really do like that. And one thing that I do want to say on what I was saying earlier about enjoying what you do, there's going to be aspects of it that you do like. So even if you hate your job, there is going to be certain aspects to that job that you hate that you do like. So maybe it's like certain people at work, maybe there's certain things at work that you like, that you enjoy, that you get to go out and hang out with people, whatever it might be. So if you're focusing on that, you're going to see more of the stuff that you do like. Whereas if you're focusing on the stuff that you don't like, you're going to see more of that stuff, and that's going to become more apparent, and you're going to be like, oh, I don't like work because of X, Y, and Z. Yeah. Whereas if you go in and you say every day, I like work because of X, Y, and Z, you're going to start looking for more stuff that you like. So I think it's just flipping your mindset to looking for stuff that you do actually like.
Yeah, and it boils down to, if you hate your job, you're always going to hate your job. So find something you don't hate and you enjoy doing, and then you won't care so much about the weekends. Or maybe you'll just like the free time on the weekends to get some more work done. Tyler, you got anything else on standards before we go into this week's business idea? I thought that was a good little chat.
I said the quotes at the end, but I just added this, but how you do one thing is how you do everything. And that's one thing that's a quote that I've always that's stuck in my head. And I always think about that. And whenever I'm thinking about being lazy or not doing something, I just think how I do one thing is how I do everything. And then I go out and do it anyways.
Yeah, I always have these quotes in my head that I try to tell them. One of them is, I think Joe Rogan was talking about it, but he said, pretend whenever you're doing anything that there's a documentary crew following you around. And I'm
really love that one.
Oh, I do. Because then I'm like, if I just want to sit here and not do fuck all, then I'm like, but what if there's cameras on me?
Right.
Yeah. So that's
no rest days.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get into this week's business idea. Frame friend, for you guys that watch the show, I don't know if you've noticed, but I have a new pair of glasses on here. And the one thing that came up when I was thinking about these glasses is I really enjoy. There we go. Tyler's got some glasses on. I forgot
to put them on.
There you go. Now you got them on.
Now I got them on.
I really enjoy the process of getting new glasses. And I don't get them very often, maybe once every 1 or 2 years. And every time I get new ones, I'm like, God, I should get more glasses. So I'm thinking, what if there was a service where you get to pick your subscription length, whether it's a month, whether it's quarterly, or maybe half year, yearly, where you get a pair of lenses or frames, glasses, and then you can just send them back. Because that's the one thing, especially glasses. If we could somehow make this more affordable, these glasses, if I didn't have vision insurance, were $400 and some. And with my vision insurance, I added a couple things on here. There's some blue light. There's some other things that I think I paid just over $100. But if there was something where I could pay, $15 a month or whatever it is. And then quarterly, every 3 months, I got to pick out my new glasses. I got to put my prescription in there, and then they send me a new pair of frames. So then I can always have new glasses, because I can't be the only one that enjoys getting new glasses. It just makes you feel like you got a new oomph, like you're a new person. You know, it's kind of like getting a new jacket or getting a new staple piece of your wardrobe. You're like, oh, this is nice. I'm sure. Or, you know, biking, when you got your new outfit you wear for biking, I'm sure you're like, God, I just want to go on a bike right now. Right. It's kind of the same for glasses. I put on glasses. I'm like, man, it just makes me want to do stuff. I need people to see me in these glasses. I want to film videos in these glasses. You know what I mean?
So I'll say this. If this isn't done already, I feel like it should be, because it's a really good idea.
Yeah, it's got to be out there somewhere.
If it's not. But I say that because, you know, Gavin was subscribed to the exact same thing, but for watches.
Okay.
So you have a subscription, and then they just give you different watches every month. And then if you like the watch, you can just keep the watch for as long as you want. And then it's just like a monthly subscription.
Yeah.
And then it just, so I think it's a really good idea. I was thinking like you could do the same thing maybe for sunglasses as well. And then it's just like like $15 per month. It's basically a brand new pair of sunglasses every single year. And then if you like different sunglasses or different glasses you like to rotate, maybe it's like, oh, this month I'm going to do this month. So it gives you the option to be able to rotate. But if you want to keep the same sunglasses, you basically just got to pay yearly for a pair of glasses every year. So
yeah.
I do really like the idea.
Or maybe there's an upcharge, you know, you pay a small amount, like $10-15 a month, you get new glasses whenever. And then if there is a pair where you're like, God, I don't want to send these back, I really like these ones, you pay an extra $50 or something. Right. So then you buy them out and you have it, and you're still saving money, because if you were to buy them, they'd be $400, whatever. Maybe you couldn't get $400 ones, but you pay $50. And then the business model, that's awesome. Maybe people, they keep getting good glasses. They have 6 of them in 1 year. They were like, I really want to keep these ones. Right. And then maybe at the end, you know, 3 years down the road, you're not wearing the ones you were wearing 3 years ago, and you can send them in and get credit for something. And then somehow these are being reused in the business. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, I mean, that's one thing. I got these new glasses. I'm like, I really want a clear pair. There's nothing on them, just straight clear. And then I got them. I'm like, God, this is nice. I should get more glasses.
Yeah, they look good on you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate
I like the idea too.
Thank you. Cool. Also, one thing I wanted to add before we leave, I was filming yesterday at Baker Boy, which is basically this giant, I think it's 105,000 square feet. And they make cookies and donuts and cinnamon rolls, and they package them all up and ship them out like a distribution center. And it was the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. It was almost motivating, because they started in one small room, and then they got to where they're at now, and they're adding another 150,000 square feet. I felt like I was on set of how it's made, dude. It was awesome. I'll show you cool. Once we have it finished. I'll show you some of the footage, but I was like, this is so crazy. Sweet. Like the logistics of this, I don't even know the person that would have had to think how to put all this shit together, but it's insane.
Robots.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Tyler, you got anything else?
That's everything.
Cool. I'm gonna go drive to Bismarck and then fly to Vegas, and hopefully we'll have next week's episode. We'll have a little bit of a Vegas update in my little pre-story. Hopefully I come back rich and I'm like, Tyler, I quit. I sold my business. I hit $1 million.
I put it all on black. Put it all on green.
I'm done doing roulette. Have you ever heard my roulette story?
No.
I won $2,500 at the craps table and lost it all on the roulette table 11 minutes later.
Sounds about right.
It hit red 9 times in a row. And I bet black every time. It just kept doubling it. It was insane. But we learn not to ever play that stupid fucking game ever again. All right, that's episode 58 of The Midnight Entrepreneur. If you have any questions you'd like us to cover or answer, you can email us at themidnightentrepreneur@gmail.com. If you found value in this content or found this entertaining, share this with a friend or post it on your story. And if you really enjoyed the show, we'd love a rating and a review wherever you are listening. Talk to you guys next week for another episode of The Midnight Entrepreneur.
The quality of a leader is reflected in the standards they set for themselves. Ray Kroc.